What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Palantir. Now, Palantir has had a very volatile week. They missed a little bit on their earnings, which sent the stock tumbling from Palantir's 2021 high to the bottom of where the stock went this week. That was almost a 33% decrease. But as we'll look at today, Palantir stock is massively rallying, and we're going to go over all of the different reasons why. I actually grabbed a short-term Palantir play that you guys are going to find very interesting. So make sure you stay to the end of this video so you make sure you know exactly what contracts I am buying for Palantir and my reasons why. So if we come over and take a look at the chart of Palantir, we can see that Palantir has been extremely volatile over the past couple of weeks. We saw it massively rip up during its demo day run up, a sell-off after another run up, which we thought was going to be the start of a pretty substantial earnings run up, and then a massive run down into Palantir's earnings. But we can see today the stock is almost up about $3.50 or about 14%. So it looks like we are getting a very strong reversal, and we're going to go over all of the reasons why. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoy the information that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, and comment down below what your average price that you got into Palantir stock is at in your portfolios. So one of the main reasons why Palantir is rallying so much today has to do with the very famous institution Ark Invest. Now, recently, what Ark Invest does in their actively traded portfolios does hold a lot of weight in the overall market. A lot of retail investors follow what Ark Invest does because a lot of their ETFs over 2020 were up well over 100%. So if we come over here, you're going to be shocked at the amount of shares that Ark Invest bought on this Palantir dip. So if we come over here, Cathie Wood's Ark Innovation ETF and Ark Next Generation Internet ETF acquired 6.8 million shares of Palantir in the last week. The shares are worth roughly 172 million as of Thursday's closing price. Now, if they spread out this 6.8 million shares over a couple of days, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But on Thursday, they bought an absolutely crazy amount. The majority of these 6.8 million shares was bought in a single day. So if we come over here, this is actually Ark's trade notifications that you can sign up for on their website, and they will email you them at the end of every single day. So we can see here, Ark K on February 18th, 2021, they bought Palantir in the amount of about 5.3 million shares. That is absolutely insane, and that has a lot of weight in why Palantir is going up so much today. Now, the second reason why Palantir is going up so much today is that there is a conclusion of an event that a lot of investors have been very worried about over the past 2 or 3 months, and this is going to be the share lockup period expiration. So essentially what that is that when a company IPOs, a lot of the early investor shares, some of the C-suite shares, or some of the higher level employee shares are locked up for a certain time period, and they are not allowed to sell their shares on the open market for a certain amount of time. Now, this occurs because a lot of the shares held, if those were sold on the day of the IPO, it would create massive volatility in the share price. It would create so much selling pressure that the buying pressure may not be able to counteract it. So we would actually see an imbalance in the supply and demand, which would send the stock tumbling on the day of IPO. Now, when you have a share lockup period, that actually takes that out of the equation, so you can actually have a more smooth IPO. So if we take a look at some of the actual dates for when this share lockup period is going to be expiring. So if we take a look here, according to Business Wire, the lockup period is expected to continue until the start of the third trading day following the date of public disclosure of Palantir's financial results for the year ending December 31st, 2020, the lockup period. Basically, the lockup period on the remaining 80% of insider shares is in effect right now and will end on the third trading day after Palantir's next earnings call. So that is really today. So Palantir announced their earnings Tuesday morning. So we had Wednesday, Thursday, and today is Friday. So the lockup period has expired. We could see a lot of investor confidence after today because Palantir did not take another massive deep dive after the lockup period expired, which in my opinion is a very bullish sign. If a lot of the insiders at Palantir have the ability to sell their shares, but they are not doing so, in my opinion, those are the individuals that know the most about the company. And if they think that the company is going to be great for the long term and are holding on to their equity position, I think it's smart for investors to hold on as well. Now, nothing I say in these videos is financial advice. These are for educational purposes only. Now, I've mentioned some Palantir plays off of their earnings announcement and some of these scenarios in which I would buy into these plays. So now let's take a look at some of these different plays that I have talked about and how they have been doing, as well as the brand new options play on Palantir that I just picked up today. So if we come over to the options chain, the first play is going to be the simplest. If we come over to some longer expiration dates, I was thinking about selling some cash secured puts. Now, this would be a very good idea in your portfolio if you have some extra cash sitting around and you want to get into Palantir at a lower price than it is currently trading at. Now, the implied volatility on this options chain is still absolutely insane. So that is very good for selling premium. When the implied volatility is higher, that means the contracts are slightly overpriced and you will have to pay a premium in order to get into these positions. But as an options seller, you can collect more money than you would typically be able to when this implied volatility is higher. So you can still sell some of these cash secured puts. If you were to have done this yesterday or the day before, you're actually still in a very good position. Now, the second play that I have been talking about is these January 22 calls. So if we come over, switch this over to calls, I was actually thinking about going in on some of these 60s, 55s around here. Previously, these contracts were trading at about $600 a contract or $700 per contract. Now, we see that they're up about 38% on the day today. So if you bought the dip on these contracts yesterday, you are making a substantial amount of money. So now let's get into the specific options play that I picked up for Palantir, and it's actually going to be a contract that expires next week. So if we come over here, I actually grabbed two of these $35 strikes this morning. So I paid about $100 to get into this position, and they're up a decent amount right now. I'm probably going to hold these until expiration and just see how it goes. This is more of a gambly options trade. This is meant for a low probability, high profit potential play. So in general, I think that this is a very good spot to get into Palantir at the current time. Now, this is just my opinion, and none of this is financial advice. As always, these are for educational purposes only. But as you can see, Palantir is trading pretty far off of the previous highs, and I think that we could see another massive run-up throughout the year 2021. Now, the reason for this is that the share lockup period has expired. They just got past their massively important earnings announcement, and we saw a pretty substantial sell-off. And almost every other week, we see Palantir come out with another multi-million-dollar contract in which they are supplying their software to other companies to use. Now, if you were one of the lucky individuals, I wouldn't call it specifically lucky, but if you had the inside scoop on Palantir at the very beginning and you were to be able to buy this around the IPO and establish a very solid position, maybe this is not the best time for you to average up in your position because Palantir is trading so much higher than it was near the IPO. But if you bought Palantir more recently, or if you're looking to get into Palantir because you don't already have a position, I think this could be a very good time to get in. So that's going to be it for this update on Palantir. If you guys enjoyed the information that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It really helps me out a whole lot. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading doing and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a very profitable day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.